Hey guys, Mario. We're on number 7 of the Quick Start Guide, and this is make sure you're getting enough electrolytes. So like I said before, these videos kind of build on each other. I think a lot of them are interrelated, but I definitely just wanted to call out the electrolytes piece of the equation, because for me, like, this was the missing piece of the equation. And once I solved this, for me, it made the keto diet so much more sustainable. And so uh, again, somebody who doesn't understand all of the science behind it, but when I think of electrolytes, I think of like salt and potassium. There might be a couple of other ones, but those are the ones that come to my mind when I think about it. And so, quick story is I was doing keto already at this point for, I don't know, probably like 3 to 4 months. And like I said, in the first 2 months, like, so much weight dropped off of me so quickly. And so I was like, yep, I'm doing this. And I was following, some of these tips, and they were all building on each other. I finally got my vitamins right, so that was helpful. And I just remembered that every now and then, though, like, the first time I can recall it happening is we were just going grocery shopping, and we just got done eating. So we went to breakfast, and then after breakfast, so it was a Saturday, and so Saturday we went to breakfast at a Mexican restaurant. And then after that, we went to Costco to do some grocery shopping. And I remember walking through Costco, and I was like, hey, like, we gotta slow it down. Like, I feel like my heart racing. Like, I could literally feel the blood pumping and pulsing all through my body. And it just didn't feel right. And like, what's going on? What, like, this is not normal. It was definitely not normal. And I had to sit down, right? I had to sit down just because and it was weird because, like, I'm a youngish guy. I'm in my 30s, right? And I'm there, like, and there's people like looking at me, and I just remember that, and like, they were almost at the point where they're like, "Hey, do we need to call an ambulance?" And it just didn't feel right. And that was the first episode, but it probably over the next couple of weeks happened 2 or 3 times, so much so that I went to like a doc in a box and a nurse, and I had to get checked out. And even then, like, they couldn't find exactly what was going wrong. And I even keto, and they didn't register. Then I started doing some research, and basically what the research led me to believe is that I wasn't getting enough salt, because I don't totally understand the science, but what I came down to, I wasn't getting enough salt, I wasn't getting enough electrolytes. So I started just being it's one of these things, like, the standard American diet tells you, like, salt is bad, sodium is bad, so I just thought, like, hey, if I don't want the taste of extra salt on my food, I'm not going to put it on. Now I intentionally put salt on to make sure I'm getting enough electrolytes. What I deduced, right, after episodes like this happening over and over again over the period of a short few weeks, is that, again, I was low on electrolytes, and I was basically out of balance. My heart rate would spike up. I think I got up to like 180, I guess it's beats per minute, because I have an Apple Watch, that kind of a fitness tracker. And so I'd have sustained, episodes where my heart rate was above 180, and I was just, chill like this, sitting at my desk working, my heart rate would be so high. And once I started intentionally adding salt, specifically like Himalayan sea salt, and then supplementing with other types of electrolytes, I never had those issues again. And it just, like, totally went away. So my advice to you is just be very aware of what your salt intake is. And potassium, a lot of times people go to bananas to get potassium, but you can find potassium also, like, in Powerade. I just generally don't like the artificial things like that. They have sucralose, and that kind of upsets my stomach, I've learned. So I generally don't use Powerades, but their Powerade Zero is an option for some people. For me, all it is I just intentionally put, like, Himalayan sea salt on my foods, and I'm making sure I'm getting right vitamins, and there are some additional supplements that I take to help me with electrolytes. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. Again, for me, this was the missing link. I think, everything else kind of, like, firing, but once I noticed, like, my blood racing and my heart rate, it almost made me quit. I'm not gonna lie. And what it was like, it was hard for me to even come to that opinion or decision, because it's like I was getting so many benefits. So, but once I figured this out, once I figured out the reason why I wasn't feeling so great was because of my electrolytes were out of balance, I started supplementing with salt and some other electrolytes. Totally fine now. Couldn't feel better. So make sure that you're getting your electrolytes in.